This is VOA News. I'm Tommy McNeil. A 23-year-old man was charged late Friday with the murder of an Australian tourist in New Zealand, in New Zealand's coastal town of Raglan on the North Island, according to police there. The arrest followed a manhunt for the suspect after the 33-year-old victim was found dead earlier. The police identified the victim on Saturday as Sean McKinnon from Australia. And before the shootings at two mosques that killed 51 people in New Zealand, New Zealand was considered one of the safest countries, with the homicide rate the third of the average recorded among member countries in an Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. There is new information regarding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. We get more from AP's Jackie Quinn.
The 66-year-old financier accused of sex trafficking was found dead in his New York jail cell last Saturday. Now the medical examiner's office has released a statement saying the autopsy and other evidence confirmed Epstein hanged himself at the federal jail. He had been placed on a suicide watch last month after he was found on his cell floor with bruising on his neck, but that watch had been lifted. The Attorney General says Epstein's death remains under investigation. I'm Jackie Quinn.
Reaction from the UN over Kashmir and India situation.
After appeals from Pakistan, Permanent Council member China requested the meeting. Beijing's new UN envoy, Zhang Jun, said afterwards that India's decision has changed the status quo in Kashmir and caused tensions in the region.
China is deeply concerned about the current situation and opposes any unilateral action.
And this is VOA News. VOA shined a spotlight on some of the migrants returned to Mexico as part of the Trump administration's migration protection protocols, in which the Mexican government is busing hundreds of returned migrants to faraway locations, and what is described as a thinly disguised deportation program. VOA spoke to some of the migrants ahead of the 2,100-kilometer journey and found the majority of them were from Honduras. The U.S. government says it has a warrant to seize an Iranian supertanker caught in a diplomatic standoff off the coast of the British overseas territory of Gibraltar. A court document released Friday by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington shows the court has issued a warrant to seize the vessel. The United States is seeking to take control of the Iranian oil tanker Grace 1, along with the oil it carries, and 995,000 on the grounds that the ship has links to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard, which the U.S. has designated a terrorist organization. The Supreme Court in Gibraltar ruled Thursday that the tanker can be released from detention shortly after the United States had launched a last-minute legal bid to hold it. Thousands of travelers at U.S. airports faced delays Friday because of a nationwide outage of U.S. Customs and Border Protection processing systems that lasted several hours. In a tweet, the CBP said the affected systems are coming back online and travelers are being processed. It said there was no indication the disruption was malicious in nature at the time. Michael Lillard is a spokesman for the Metropolitan Washington Airport Authority.
Processing procedures are returning to normal. However, passengers arriving at Dulles from international locations may experience a little bit of a lengthier wait time due to the earlier outage.
On average, in a day, CBP processes about 358,000 air passengers. Democratic Congresswoman from the United States, Rashida Tlaib, now says she will not go to Israel even after being granted humanitarian exemption.
Israel gave Tlaib a permit on humanitarian grounds to visit her family, but the Michigan Democrat says she will not accept, citing what she says are oppressive conditions meant to humiliate her and which would break her 90-year-old grandmother's heart. Israel's Interior Minister earlier said Tlaib made a formal request to visit and had agreed to follow restrictions. Under pressure from President Trump, Israel yesterday took the unprecedented step of saying it would deny Tlaib and fellow lawmaker Ilhan Omar entry to Israel and the West Bank.
I'm Tommy McNeil, VOA News.